Hello! Welcome, Muchkins! Thank you for tuning in to another episode of All the Muches, featuring myself, Chris Colville, and
myself, Michael Bumping Zamora.
We almost couldn't remember our names earlier because that's the week we are having. Well, welcome to All the Muches, a show about us two Aquarians who talk about all the tea, all the things, all the muches. If it's your first time watching our show, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you really like it. And you can catch us at a bunch of places. Do you want to tell them where those places are, Michael?
Sure. We're on both of our Facebook pages. We are on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you subscribe to our YouTube channels, we will have a better time of getting back in touch with you. So subscribe to us all of those places. Also, while we're at it, I know Chris loves to say this, but I'll take it this time. All of our podcast listeners out there, if you are interested, we are live each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If we will not be live, we will let you know. And the only reason we wouldn't be live is because we only do this show together. No guests yet. And
not
even
yet.
if there are guests, both of us will still be here.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said.
Yeah, so for those of you tuning in for the first time, we talk about a bunch of topics here on the show. That's what the show is all about, talking about all the topics, all the muches. And the first topic we always start with is just a little check-in with my friend right here, and it's mental health and physical wellness. So, Michael, how is your mental health and physical wellness after this week?
Girl. Just like, I feel bamboozled by my mental health and physical wellness.
I feel you. My F&B director, my new F&B director, actually just tried to call me.
Oh my gosh. He was like, I'm watching you and I want you to bartend. No, it's honestly just been a week. Like, I'm very open. I share everything. You know this, a couple people know this. I have a condition called vasovagal, and I am currently prepping for a national pageant, which is very stressful. And the sisters that I would normally have with me that other drag queens have in their lives to help them rhinestone and bead and all of that, I don't have.
You don't have access to them right now.
And I have like my crew and all of that, but at this point in the game, I don't have time to teach anybody anything. And so,
you just have to do that.
And we all know that when I say we all, the two of us sitting here,
us here,
know, and my husband knows, and like drag queens out there watching know, that you have to do things right, or it's not.
Points deducted.
Yeah, or points are deducted. Yeah, sorry, Brittany, you have a you want to tell us about your week, so I will interrupt me for you. You're having surgery Friday.
Oh wow, Brittany. Oh yuck, that's right.
We are sending you all the love from all the muches,
all the energy, honey.
Also, I set the camera up a little different today, and I don't know how I did it different, but I'm somehow shorter than you, and I'm actually taller than you in real life.
No, it's because I'm sitting on a cushion. Remember, I always have a butt cushion.
I'm also always taller than you in real life.
You are a little taller.
So, which is why you did the cushion.
Scotch.
Yeah, just a scotch. It's like a half inch, really.
Yeah.
We'll give Chris all the inches.
No, I really like to sit on a cushion because I don't know why I started doing that. I think it's for this, so we had some height.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We are sending you all the love. Please keep us updated.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
So yeah, it's just been like, that's where I was going with this. So the other day I stayed up until like 5 a.m. I lost track of time completely. I was stressed out because, as all of you know who have been watching us, I'm still unemployed. I did have a really good job interview today, so like give me all the love for that. I'll tell you about it in a second. I just like lost track of everything, and I was stressing, and I got up and I was brushing my teeth. And the next thing I knew, I was on the floor, like waking up, and I had like my hands are bruised, my knees are bruised, my face is bruised. I showed you, it's healed now, but I had like a little scrape on my forehead. It was just like, it was not good.
She passed out, y'all.
Yeah,
so she fainted.
Vasovagal is it's a stress-induced symptom that mocks blacking out and a heart attack at the same time. So it does not have the results on your body, the effect on your body that like a heart attack would. There's no post trauma to your body except for bruising apparently when you pass out. So that happened, and so I've been setting alarms. Like last night I went past my alarm. I was not happy with myself, but making sure I get in bed by like 1 or 2. You know, we're night owl people. So
Yeah.
that's like a good time for us.
Yeah.
And also just, you know, the physical part of the journey, the working out. I've been traveling a lot, and when you travel, you eat shitty.
Whatever you have available.
Yeah, you eat shitty. Even like we talked about this, the trail mixes and the things that are supposed to be healthy in the airport.
Or
You're
those
like,
kind bars.
yeah,
Those kind of bars
full
are
of
not
sugar.
very
full
kind.
of sugar. And so in my mind, I'm always like, well, fuck it. I just really messed up this diet anyway. So like, why not order 2 pizzas and then pasta the next day and then Thai food and not get on my Peloton?
You might as well commit to it.
Right, might as well commit to
To
it.
that new little journey.
Which I actually cannot do because I have garments to fit in. So that's kind of where I am. I'll put up 2 comments really quick and then we can jump in. Michael R, all this and much more. Yeah. So Quinn Matthews has competed at Mr. Gay United States, and we are actually doing a show together in October for Halloween
Oh my
here,
God, yeah.
not here in New York City, but here in New York State.
Amazing.
So it's modeled after the 7 Deadly Sins.
Sexy.
And then Brittany, I will for sure, yes, we definitely want to hear about you. But babe, how is your mental health and physical wellness been?
Woof.
Yeah, whoa, it's the week. I honestly think some things like
week.
astrologically we should check into
Yeah,
that.
we should. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or what planets are aligning that are making us Aquarians so busy right now.
Yeah.
But we are busy. I have not been home in like 30 hours because
Yeah.
I've been doing all the things. Today, I woke up at 9 a.m. I had to go put on a shirt for work, and then I went and did my outfit workout, and then I got a much needed pedicure, which we'll talk about later. And then I had to get off to work for 3 for an event, and told my manager I needed to be by 7 promptly for this show.
Yeah.
And he knew. We talked about a couple days ago.
And then
But like I said earlier, he just called me because I don't know what he thinks he's missing that I might know where it is, but he can talk to my coworkers about it because I am doing this show
Yeah.
for all of you and for us.
And Buster really wants your mental health.
Yeah, Buster right here. If you're wondering, I'm leaning down. It's because I'm petting this
The
beautiful
schnauzer.
little gray-haired schnauzer here that wants all of the munches, all of the love. So I'll just keep.
Oh, we
doing
have an
this.
answer. It's a transitional week between seasons, and life is trying to work its way back into a sense of normality mixed with day-to-day life. It's a lot. It sure is.
Sure is. So yeah, I mean, okay, physical well-being. You know, still on my fitness journey with outfit training. For those of you who don't know, I've lost about 20 pounds in the last 3 months, partly because of a word I'm sick of saying and won't say it anymore. It's a diet
That would
begins with a
be
K.
Keto.
Keto!
It's keto time. I don't know. Also,
It's keto time.
I've been told I have a new co-host because
Michael, can you please introduce us to your new co-host? I don't recognize him without the beard. I know. Oh, we meant to start the show with masks.
Oh, yeah, we
to
did.
do a reveal. But so I mean,
Tyson, hi babe. First of
hi,
all,
honey. So something really fun and exciting that happened this week. On top of all the stress, we do
oh
have
my
to
gosh, we just can't not be busy.
remember. Yeah, and I have to remind myself what to be grateful for. This just means, girl, we are booked and blessed,
Booked and blessed.
and we are getting all of it, and it's a lot. And I'm not used to it because I'm not a Type A person. You're a Type A person.
I
You
tend
can,
to be
like,
a type A.
lean right into doing all of the things.
I actually had to explain this on the interview today. I didn't say that either, so we can go back. We can come back to 2 things:
Sure.
pedicures and interviews.
Yeah.
That I always like to have my hand in a lot of buckets, but I also am not good at saying I need somebody else to take this bucket away.
Yeah, you're not the best at asking for help because you know how it's got to be done.
Right.
And you're like, let me do it right the me
Yeah.
time. Not the you time and then do the me time.
Right. So this is my friend Chris Koval.
Yeah. So what I was going to say,
Yeah.
the reason why this has happened is because one of the things to be grateful for of this crazy busy week is that Michael, as his drag persona, Aaliyah Martinez, the queen that she is, was hired to a cool little online gig where she gave a tutorial over the webs of drag makeup. And I told her I've always died for you to paint my face. And so I would love it if you did. So literally, this is the first time in at least 7 or 8 years
Yeah.
that I've shaved my face.
I've never known you without beard.
Oh, never.
Never.
Because
Never.
I've only lived in New York for almost 6
One
years.
more time.
Never.
Never.
Never, ever. So
Yeah.
it was a shock. for you and for me and for everyone else. And it's been interesting. There's a reason why I had facial hair, and I forgot all the muches of why.
You know, though, Chris, you came in and you were like, I don't recognize myself. I can't see me. And Sarah, our friend, who was also painted by me, was like, both of us were like, no, girl, we can see you. We see you.
It was weird because the beard definitely creates a defining moment on the lower half of my face that was no longer there. I mean, you guys are seeing 2-day stubble with a shaved neck, which is already wonderful. You know, the wonderful thing about being a man is we have nature's contouring illusion of definition for the jaw, which I do not have when this is freshly shaved.
It's true.
So, you know, so we are grateful for the facial hair. Yeah, we've got that in common. We both got the more slopey neck.
We both said we were going to go to Brazil and get our chin straps done.
And maybe a little lip flip, because as we age, these muscles get stronger.
Lip flip is just a little
boop, 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 and it makes you go, here you go. There they are again. You know, that could be another topic, actually, for another day. All the cosmetic surgeries and fillers.
Literally talked about that in therapy today.
Oh,
and she was like, is there a reason you're leaning into cosmetic surgery? And I was like, yeah, because I want it done.
Because I like to look beautiful.
Any pics? We want to see.
Oh, I know. I do.
So we didn't think about that, did we? We should have put the pics in.
Yeah.
Chris will be posting.
I'll be posting.
So
sure.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to, because life has been very busy. I literally had to leave here to be at work for 4 p.m. yesterday, and luckily got permission to still be in face. But I didn't have time to put on any wonderful wigs or ensembles.
No, I was so mad.
And because you gave me a full beat, girl. It was gorgeous.
We did everything from brow blocking to like glitter on the face.
Glitter, extra highlight. It was a full look. So
it was gorgeous.
Check out my Facebook and Instagram. It will be posted by this evening. And we'll talk about relationships with social media on the next topics.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't fully shaved since I did Cats on Stage, says Quinn Matthews. I mean, I would only ever shave if it was for
something like
a professional theater job or something like this. I don't even think I'd ever shave for a bartending gig, to be honest with you.
No. If they told you had to, or like that's part of the dress code, what would you do?
I'd say that's not my personality or part of my shtick, and trust me, you want everything that comes with my personality and shtick, which is feeling confident with my facial hair because it looks wonderful. And thank you very much. I'll see you on Wednesday with my beard.
Right.
Thanks.
Actually, if you're, I don't know if you know this, but if you are a union employee and you start shaving a beard or start growing a beard, they cannot ask you to shave it off. But once you shave it off, they can make you keep it shaved.
So what's a good thing I'm not
because with unions, change is the key word. So like, for example, once the ice machines broke down on the main floor where they bartend, and they refused to go down in the basement to get it because then we could make them do it going forward.
That's when I would get a note from my therapist expressing how my facial hair is a part of my identity. And if you want me to work my best self and you want everything that comes with it, it comes with it. But I'm also real stubborn. Who knows if that would even work? I like to think in my little head, in my little world, it would. Who knows?
So the job update really quick, since I didn't say that.
Yes.
Muchkins, I need all of your good vibes. Chris and I are on it already, but I'm interviewing with GLAAD currently.
GLAAD.
GLAAD.
Yep.
Gays and lesbians against actionable against defamation.
That's what it is. Sorry, I knew there were 2 letters there. The reason why I'm saying this is because my silly blonde self, when he said it, thought, oh, trash bags. Okay.
So give me all the vibes that you can, because I think today was like my final interview, and I'm gonna pass him over because he clearly wants
I'll take him.
This is Buster.
This is Buster, y'all. This is Buster. Say hi to Buster. He's a sweet little schnauzy.
Yeah. Sometimes our facial hair is our security blanket. Absolutely. Mine actually is too, but because I do drag so often, I can't.
You get to live in the this is my male drag with hair, and then give me my female drag, and there was a hair.
Bury that.
Yeah.
And Chris is saying hi. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Nice to see you.
All right. Let's see.
I think that's enough.
Brittany, thank you. Yes, it did go very well. I am very excited. So next we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to me, especially as an HR professional, and that's pronouns. I fully believe that when you introduce yourself with your pronouns, you give everybody else the freedom to say theirs, because some people are scared.
Yeah.
Some people are scared. So,
Absolutely.
So my intro, just to intro this topic, is, hi, my name is Michael. I always say my work pronouns are he, him, his. What are yours? Would you mind sharing? I actually say, would you mind sharing yours with me? Because some people don't feel comfortable, and that's also fine.
I love that.
And they works for everybody.
Yeah, they is inclusive of everyone.
Yeah.
It's sort of just the easy, like, you don't want to go there? They. You know?
Yeah.
It could be and the people who say, but isn't they plural? It is used for plural description. Hey, Mags! All the good luck to you, Michael. Hi, Chris. I'll see you next month. I also haven't shaved since I came out. It's a look. We like the facial hair. It's a vibe. Hi, honey. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Tyson.
Oh, thanks, Tyson. Yeah, look at all that love. All the Munchkins sending you all the love.
Ugh, we just need it, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, they is inclusive of everyone, and it also can be used plural. But I know I've seen I can't speak to it specifically, but I know that historically they has also been used for singularity.
Yeah. Well, if I'm saying, look at them run.
Yeah.
That can be a person, or they came to dinner.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Where's Chris?
Tyler
Where'd
could
they
be,
go?
yeah. I don't know why I said Tyler. Oh, our friend Tyler. I was like, Tyler. Tyler came to dinner. They were great here. You know, they had a good time.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing to say.
Right.
So for me, I said my work pronouns are he, him. What do you use? Do you use different pronouns at work? How do you feel about your pronouns?
Well, it was really interesting having been in drag yesterday. I had a really good time playing with my representation. Someone actually said to me that I asked what their opinions on it were. Like, should I go into work like this? I was nervous about it, to be honest. I've never intentionally presented as like female presenting and in drag, and then the face I was, it certainly was drag queen female presenting aesthetic.
Did you find your personality changed a little bit?
You know, it didn't.
No?
It didn't. It was very, but I was very conscious of everyone I was meeting. But I also realized my personality already behind the bar is sort of like light and happy and like glad to introduce myself to people and to have them come meet me. So it was interesting. I continued to think consciously, how am I being perceived right now? This is real. It was kind of an experiment of perception and my own expression. And so back to the concept of pronouns. I go by he and his. Those are my gender pronouns. I identify as male in my gender expression. But yesterday, you know, I had people call me, girl, hey, oh, she looks great. And I live for that. I can play. I can, you know, I do not take myself so seriously, especially when I'm presenting as female in drag. Like, it only seemed, right place for time. Yeah, let's put that gender expression. You know, so it was a fun experience. But those are my gender pronouns. But it's important to regard gender pronouns. Certainly.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to talk?
I mean, I feel more they them than anything, but I go by he him at work. That's what I feel comfortable as. I'm fine with he him they them in my daily life. I usually say, like, you can call me anything you want as long as you call me.
I like that.
But I have a drag persona. So Aaliyah is she, her, they, them. Mostly she, her, though. I think Aaliyah leans into that woman vibe and just really wants to be that. This is actually another good and I was taught growing up using people's names, not pronouns. And that's a different way to do it. You know, that is a very respectful way. But also, I think misgendering is one of the worst things in society that can happen. And it's not to say that mistakes can't be made, but when mistakes are made and you're corrected, continually doing the same thing. I know a lot of trans or non-binary people that hurt quite a bit because they're just continually misgendered. Even the
Yeah.
first time it stings, but I think
I think it should be the new go-to of politeness
yeah,
to be considerate of people's gender pronouns. And if you do mispronounce someone, that's okay. Mistakes happen. Perceptions and sexual expression is changing every day. It is 2021, and we are moving to a new era where gender expression is at an all-time level of fluidity that at least I'm seeing in my personal life.
yeah,
And so if you misgender someone and they let you know what it is, that's okay. You don't have to feel shame. But once they correct you, I think out of the next level of politeness, you should respond to that accordingly and accept it.
what would you say your gender expression is outside of pronouns?
My gender expression.
Do you identify
as male?
as male all the time?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, there were certain times as a teenager I wondered, do I want to be Britney Spears or do I just love Britney Spears?
Yeah.
I
mean, there are lots of different variations of gender expression. I mean, I'm Native, and so there's obviously like two-spirited. But I consider myself, when I'm filling out an application, for example, which I've been doing a lot lately, gender queer is usually what I put. Because
cool.
I feel that. I feel that I have female identifying factors, I have male identifying factors, but then I have things that are just, you can't put a label on. And so gender queer is like who I am as a person, and that's how I identify.
I love that.
So I think it's really important to, that side of it is more personal than a pronoun is, though.
Yeah, I think, if I was to be completely honest, I'd say that I'm still very much someone who is coming into the understanding of these more intimate meta perceptions of our community and expressions of our community.
Yeah.
As the LGBTQ plus. And I think maybe I could even have some place to explore some of that.
Yeah.
Spiritually. When you say gender queer, I liked that. I thought that was pretty cool. And I kind of went, all right. Like curiosity for my own exploration.
Yeah. I think what I don't like about, not what I don't like about my gender queerness, but about my outward expression of it is I have had companies in the past use that as like their quota. Or like, oh, you're a queer person. We love to talk about you when we're like onboarding a client or when we're onboarding an employee because we have this. Did I give you that permission?
It's also the definition of tokenism.
Right. Did you ever ask me for that story?
Right.
Did you let me tell it? Did I write the script for you? And a lot of times that's no. So I think we all need to be very conscious. We all suffer from bad habits because we all use various words of expression that can be taken so out of context over the years. Absolutely.
Gwen.
But
Absolutely.
I think people are so sensitive nowadays. I don't necessarily think people are sensitive. I think people have more freedom to express who they are, and we didn't have that before. So I hate the term snowflake on either side. I because obviously that comes up a lot of politics. I hate the term you're being too sensitive. I really hate that.
Same.
I'm not being too sensitive. I'm telling you how I'm feeling, or they're telling you how they're feeling. Again, they're telling you how they're feeling. And that could be man, woman, non-man, non-woman. That could be gender queer people. That could be anybody. But I don't think sensitivity should be just because somebody's calling you out for something. All you have to do is listen and respond with, "Okay, thank you for letting me know."
Yeah,
that's it.
It's a learning opportunity.
It doesn't have to be, well, I didn't mean it that way.
Right. Well, because the sensitivity in saying that someone is too sensitive is also at the same time saying that there is a normal amount of sensitivity that we are supposed to express.
Yeah.
And that anything on either side of that is either you're too cold or you're too sensitive. And we need to just recognize that in this day and age, normal doesn't exist.
No, there is no normal.
Right.
Ooh, I like this. Constructive versus destructive. That is beautifully said.
Absolutely.
Yes. If any of you have anything else to say about this, please go ahead and message in. I said my piece.
I said mine.
Yeah. So do you want to intro our
Yeah.
next topic?
Oh, so that was so if we didn't express, so it's Pride Month. That was our Pride topic.
Yes.
Today.
Yes, all the pride.
All Pride.
Because I am
So-
proud of who I am.
Damn right.
You're proud of who
Yeah.
you
What
are.
have you done today to make you feel proud?
Girl, I got up this morning.
What haven't you done?
I got up this morning. I
Damn
interviewed
right.
for GLAAD.
You interviewed for GLAAD.
I think it was my final interview for GLAAD. So
Absolutely. I gave every guest at that event I had today a smiling eye.
Yeah.
I introduced myself with a smile every time, and I was proud of that.
as you should. I mean,
Oh,
sometimes it takes a lot to put on a smile.
It sure does. I want to put a good energy out there, especially at my job.
Although it takes more muscles to frown than it can smile.
Does it?
That's what they say.
Is that why I look so young? I do smile a
Although
lot.
today I look like I need a little bit more sleep. So
Same. But you still look gorgeous.
that's gonna be a future topic, is nipping and tucking.
There you go.
All the nipping and tucking.
So the next topic of today is all the social media.
Yes, we have a lot of feelings about
We
this.
sure
Ooh,
do.
Jackson has a big comment.
Oh, hi, Jackson. Thanks for viewing in tonight, honey. There was a long time there that I didn't understand the third gender pronouns. In the past few years, I have asked questions to try and understand and learn from those who are non-binary, and I'll say I think it's something that's legit. I also think it wouldn't have happened if I couldn't ask the questions. Absolutely, Jackson. I mean, 5 stars for you, honey. That's absolutely right. If you don't understand something, your job isn't to try to decide what is and what isn't. Your job from a place of curiosity is to ask the questions and to listen and to learn and grow with everything.
Exactly. This has been my thought process my entire life. It definitely picked up when I worked in charter schools, especially charter schools that served underprivileged communities.
Mm-hmm.
Education equals freedom.
Mm.
It really does. Educating yourself and educating others is the best way you can free yourself from any biases or anything that you didn't know before. Also, you come off. You've talked to us a lot, Jackson. Chris knows you better than I do, but to me, you come off as somebody who, if you were to say, "Can I ask you about this?" and I were to say, "I don't feel comfortable talking about it right now," you would find somebody who you could ask, and so that's the beauty of education. Also,
Yep.
Education can come from anywhere. So
Absolutely.
thank you for asking questions. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jackson.
So social media.
So social media, we have, it has become such a prominent fixture
Yeah.
in our world.
2020 solidified social media being in the house.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's stuck at home. Also solidified being such a prominent place of receiving information about what is happening. If you don't see it on the news, guaranteed it will be on social media if it's happened. That's for sure. So there's one thing about social media. You can learn a lot about what's going on through
Yeah.
social media.
I think when I was thinking about this, it was coming from a place of need of social media in your life. And I really respect, I joke with you a lot about like, oh, you don't answer your phone, or like you didn't answer this, but obviously we talk to each other like almost every day.
Yeah.
But I think you are very good at separating yourself from your phone and your social media. And whereas me as a queen especially, I can't say what I would be like without being a drag queen, but I feel like I need followers. I feel like I post my flyers on social media.
Right.
I need all the likes, I need the comments, I need the shares, I need all of this.
Because the following as Aaliyah Martinez means better results for your business and empire as Aaliyah Martinez.
Right. And I will say I ignore Michael's pages unless it's
Right.
much as no. And before that, I could have gone 5-6 months without touching that page.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting too, is what is your relationship with social media? And please comment in
Yeah.
if you want to talk about what your relationship with social media is, because I think it's really important that we understand that something that is so prevalent in the world today is still so spectrum as far as how we have our own relationships with it, what that means to us, how it affects our psyche, it affects our personal lives or our business lives.
Yeah.
And for me, my only social media is personal. And, as a performer, I created my handle, Christopher Songs. with the intent that at some point I would use it to lift my platform as a performer and start to use it in a sense that was still intimate and personal, but also would be used to help elevate my success as a singer and actor and dancer. Still working that out, because at the end of the day, it is my personal social media page. And as Michael was saying earlier, I tend to unplug often throughout the day. It's my own need for sanity to, keep my phone on silent a lot, to take a little longer to respond to something sometimes, because otherwise it becomes something that brings up my anxiety levels.
Yeah. I also, if Chip is watching, and I'm sure he'll watch this later if he's not, but I find myself even saying like, okay, we need to get off TikTok. TikTok is very, you've seen the TikTok.
Yeah, you can just go.
Even watching them on like a different social media platform, because I can post them to my Instagram stories. You want to see the next TikTok. Really quick, Quinn had 2 comments. One was for Jackson: being taught to think freely and openly in a constructive way is a great way to educate yourself on human dynamic. Absolutely. But also on social media. Social media has caused us to look for people's constant approval.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually pretty profound.
Nail on the head. We talk about what social media does to the psyche. We talk about what it does to people's emotional and mental health. Being in it for likes.
Oh, yeah.
No longer going somewhere around the world because you want to explore the world and the people and the culture and have it grow you as a human being and expand your mind and your spirit. But the thing on the forefront, and of course, this is very generalized, y'all. I know not everyone does this, but I think it has become quite prevalent that one of the first thoughts people have is, ooh, think of all the photos I can take while I'm there and post them to my gorgeous, wonderful persona that I've created.
I want a new
online.
profile picture. I wanted this. I want that.
Yeah.
And in this world of social media influencers also that has come up in the past like 10 years, it's, YouTube obviously started this like wave of influencers, but then we added Instagram and Facebook got bigger and TikTok is bigger. And you see like, I follow quite a few of them and I have a lot of them on my other show, Viva Aaliyah, especially if they're queer facing. And I talk to them about like why they got into it. And well, it was either just a habit or I saw this other person and I thought I could do this and I needed to do it better. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it really is that. My shows are on social media. We're on social media
right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but essentially, I will say too, though, one of the positive aspects about social media is it has given those who typically are more marginalized and not represented access to be able to create their own path towards success with content.
Totally.
And that is something that has come from it that I think is gold, no matter what way you look at it, and I love that.
Yeah. I definitely want to address this because that leads me to think about something. Social media has affected people's self-confidence and or made them cockier than they actually should be. So the keyboard warriors is what we call them in social media.
Mm-hmm.
I have had them on my pages. You know who follows Aaliyah more than anything?
Who? Your haters?
The Million Moms or whatever they are. The 1 Million Moms. They're like a Christian organization that like shut down Target when they shut down, quote unquote. Target's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
But they like shut down Target when they started doing Pride events but they love to comment on my stuff. You're a horrible person. You're going to hell. You're gonna die. Blah blah blah. You know, they talk about all of the queer diseases, even though they're not queer diseases. They are prevalent in all communities.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. But keyboard warriors they actually are hilarious in my opinion in a lot of ways. It's not funny what they're doing, but like, do you really think you're gonna accomplish anything by sitting behind your keyboard and insulting somebody?
Yeah, right. And I really think social media has allowed those people who resonate on such a low frequency to have a place where they have this disconnect from the effect it might have on another human being because they're not standing in front of them and saying these sensitive things.
Right. And could you?
Could you?
That's what I started saying to myself.
And would you and should you? Are you even getting your mind to the place where you are considering
Right.
That you are a human addressing another human in these ways that could cause them so much mental and emotional anguish, and that's violent behavior, that is violent, that is verbally violent, and could cause someone. Moments like that have happened that have caused people to take their own lives, and that needs to be, and for that reason, it is something that needs to be policed a lot more than it is.
Yeah, and
There's-
social media is a hard thing to police because it's not,
It's an infringement on freedom of speech.
and but it's not a physical space
Right.
necessarily. You
Right.
can police something that's in a physical space. If I were to write something on a wall, they would see me do it. Even though on social media it's just harder.
At least,
Because like bullying,
yeah, at
you-
least in
you can't
school,
bully.
cyberbullying
Yeah,
is not what's the word, acceptable.
yeah, no, no.
You will suffer and face consequences in your school for cyberbullying. Jackson says, social media has helped me find my place in the world. Being a unique gay male, I'm able to find community at a time when I wouldn't be able to in New Hampshire. It also helps me to stay in contact with my friends I have all over the country. Wonderful, Jackson. That is absolutely incredible. Jackson and I, we went to elementary school together in New Hampshire. So I think he is a very unique, wonderful human being. And I love that social media has done that for you. And that's the interesting dichotomy of social media. Like anything else in life, it has its positives and its negatives.
Yeah.
That story that Jackson just shared is wonderful. Really positive.
When we sang with the Mexico Gay Men's Chorus, I still keep in contact with them over social media.
Yes.
So it's crazy. Yeah, and hiding behind freedom of speech. A lot
Right.
of people-
When, yes.
Absolutely. You mentioned that a little bit, but yeah.
Hiding behind freedom of speech to go ahead and feel that it is your right, quote unquote, to say whatever it is that you want.
What people don't realize though, freedom of speech is not that.
No, it's not that.
If they were to actually look at our Constitution, they wouldn't even understand. It's like the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
You can't just go pick up a gun.
Right. And I think those of us who have had the opportunity to evolve into an emotionally intelligent place recognize
Right.
that words are just as, if not more violent than physical violence.
Oh, totally can be.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Because it can
Absolutely.
continue because it's not understood to be as violent.
And then one person jumps on it, and somebody else thinks that they need to jump on it, and then 5 more people think they need to jump on it.
Right.
And what my biggest thing recently, especially in the drag community, I work with a lot of different designers. That's actually how I met Quinn, through a designer that we both respect and love.
Yeah.
And it's this like cancel culture, I think, is a big social media thing. So canceling designers or calling them out, or like there's a difference in like not paying somebody $500, let's say, for a garment and then not receiving it and then not getting responses back and calling them out. That is different than just like, oh, my order came 2 days later than it was supposed to, and I'm gonna call them out and I'm gonna ruin their lives.
Yeah.
What? Girl, no, you didn't. You probably never called them. You probably were watching the tracking the entire time, and the tracking said that they sent it out on the date that they sent it out, and you're just being a jerk now.
Yeah, I think the creation of cancel culture within social media especially has sort of given an authorization to be petty, as if that is just perfectly acceptable and that's fine, and I'm just being petty and listen to this funny moment. But one should be able to look at the way they are processing things and the way they're expressing them to other people.
Yep.
And to consider that. Quinn says, people have lost the idea of cause and effect. Absolutely.
Ooh, yes.
Everything has an outcome regardless of good or bad.
Yep.
100%.
I mean, these are people's livelihoods sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not coming to your job at Wendy's or at my job as an HR person or like a physician or whatever. I'm not walking into my doctor's office and saying, even though I want to sometimes, you didn't tell me that you were going to be 15 minutes late, but I'm 15 minutes late and I have to talk to you. I'm canceling you, and all your patients should. Why would I do that? That's not what this is about.
Right, it's unreasonable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of unreasonable cancel culture out there on social
Clearly,
media.
I want Wendy's, by the way, because that was the first thing that came to my
Well,
mind. I
I'm
was
right
like,
there with you.
I was like,
I'm
give me a
hungry.
baked potato from Wendy's
I
and
want a burger.
a Frosty.
Ooh, give me fries in a frosty.
Fries in a Frosty.
Do you ever dip your fries in the frosty?
If you don't, you're sacrilege. Like the holy grail that is the Frosty. Why would you even not?
I don't think we realized when we were going to go into social media how meta, like how much
Very
context
meta.
there is. We could have had an entire episode
Yeah,
on thoughts about social media, because the only other thought I wanted to express specifically
please
about
do.
cancel culture within social media is that context is important,
Absolutely.
and cancel culture takes things completely out of context.
A lot of the time, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't. People will hop on the cancel bandwagon without considering the source, the context, the back and forth, and the two sides that have opinions where the truth lies in the middle.
Yeah, because a lot of times cancel culture is different than, say, us being queer people and saying we're not getting at Chick-fil-A, and
Sure.
verbalizing that, which
Yeah.
which we're going to get to in a different episode as well.
Uh-huh.
But cancel culture is a lot about really ruining something. It's burning it. It's basically burning it to the ground.
There's nothing productive.
No,
There's no conversation.
no, exactly. So, like you said, that was our last kind of thing on that. So, we're going to go into our last thing, which is a uplifting thing. And I'm very excited
Yes.
to talk about this.
Me too.
It's something you're really into, and I need
Yeah.
to get into more. All the self-love.
All the self-love.
I think we had one more
self-care.
comment really
Oh,
planned.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Quinn says, at the end of the day, you never know what kind of a day a person is having. It takes no effort to smile at people than it does to leave a nonsense message.
100%. Chris did that all day
Absolutely.
today.
I did. Listen, I try to move through this world and give positive energy, because I'm so grateful when people do that for me. Being,
Hard.
it really is. And being we're both very energetically sensitive human
Mhm.
beings. Some might say empaths or empathic.
Yeah.
We're on our journeys to understand that. Personally, I know I am. I know Michael also is. It's
Yeah.
another thing we have in common.
Yeah. Which ties into self-love.
100%.
Actually, today, when I was going through my prescriptions, I stopped at CVS is farther away than Rite Aid. So I stopped at CVS for my prescriptions. That's where we have to go because we're on a certain health plan. And then I went to Rite Aid to get like milk and the drinks we're having. And
Which are delicious, by the way.
yeah, they are pretty good. Come on, Busy.
Come on,
Never heard of
Busy.
Busy before.
Hard seltzer, you're cute.
And it's vitamin C in there. But I noticed something
Vitamins?
I like absolutely noticed was me saying like, have a good day to people and then being like, you too. Or like how rude they were beforehand and they were like,
Mhm.
do you want a receipt with that? And I was like, have a good day. And they were like, oh, you too. You know, those sort of things, it's like, you need some more self-love, babe. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking absolutely to them.
Yeah. You know, emotions are contagious,
Yeah.
and we are human beings that are we are emotional beings by nature. And so it's important to have regard for how people's emotions are affecting us and how our emotions are affecting us.
What are some of your favorite self-love tactics?
Oh man. Well, today I treated myself to a pedicure, a spa pedicure. I was like, listen, this
I
might
need to go.
Yeah, I was like, this might take an extra 15 minutes, but I just need a moment of this wonderful woman named Kim who was going to take care of my feet and give me a calf massage, because as a dancer and as a full-time bartender, I suffer from a lot of chronic tension, and I recognize that if I don't address that and take care of that, I will suffer. And if I suffer, that's awful, but then it also usually means that others will suffer as well. Because of my job and because of being the expressive person I am. Yeah, if I'm suffering, it means I will probably say some things to other people and create a little suffering for them
Or
too.
just not being able to be as expressive with your love outwardly.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Because
Yeah.
you're not always like I know when you're obviously we've known each other for years. We know when
Yeah.
each other's in a mood, but also we can't give as much if
No.
we don't have that to give.
Well, and that's what's so important about self-love and self-care is to be in a place where our cup is full. So then our cup can runneth over to be able to give to others from a place of fullness, not from a place of attachment and looking for something in return.
There's a book, I think it's actually over on the shelf. I've read it multiple times. It's called How to Fill Your Bucket. And it's not about necessarily always being self-righteous and in tune with yourself, but it's also how to fill other people's buckets too with love. And as their buckets get fuller, they have something to take from to give to somebody else. It's kind of like that butterfly effect, that pay it forward is really the
and
thing
sometimes to help others fill their bucket and fills ours. Jackson says, self-love is so important. I honestly do my best to take myself on a date at least once a month. Love that. Working at a metaphysical shop, so many people come in looking to do a love spell, and I do what I can to direct them to create a self-love kit. Because if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? Amen, Jackson. Amen. Yeah, and I know Michael and I are both into that as well, Jackson.
Yeah.
We both are in search of metaphysical assistance to find balance, wellness, and peace in this life. What are some of your ways you like to find self-love?
Yeah. I love my dogs. Speaking of, but my boy dog needs a lot of attention. He takes a lot of attention. Some things. One of my very personal favorite things to do is when I wake up in the morning, is to give myself enough time to sit for 20 minutes. I rarely bring my phone into that time. I rarely turn on anything external. There's no TV. There's no sound. It's going to be a little bit harder when I have to go back to work because obviously I'm going to have to rearrange my schedule and my sleeping schedule.
Yeah.
You know, some days I'm getting up at like 10 or 11 these days because I'm staying up a little bit later.
It sounds like every day for me for the past 5 years.
Right. But you also work later than I do. Sure. And I think that having that 20 minutes every morning, even before I eat, and my body has trained itself, like, you're not hungry for those first 20 minutes. Like, I wake up, I take out the dogs, and then I sit. And that time is just my time to, like, I don't have to think. You don't need to think for self-love. There shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to put effort into loving yourself. So that time is my time to just be. Also, if I can pick up a project that makes me happy, obviously drag makes me happy, but sometimes it stresses me out, and so I have to balance that quite a bit.
Yeah, sometimes you might be beating something or stoning something, and you get into that sort of meditative Zen place.
Yeah.
And other times your mind is going, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. What else?
Do you like to take baths? I'm a huge bath person.
I do. I don't do it enough, and I think in the times that I've done it, baths for me always happen in that time of day when my mind is going at its strongest.
Yeah.
And so I'm like in the bath and I'm like, right now I could be sewing. Right now I could be right now I could be working on all the munches. Right now I could be, and then I'm like, okay, it's time to get out. And then quite honestly, in those moments, the water feels dirtier. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, now I need to take a shower.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Because the negative energy, we are very energy focused people.
Yes.
And the negative energy just like seeps a little bit more. Actually, I watched, you said you haven't ever seen Ferngully, right?
No, I used to be obsessed with this.
Okay, you have seen Ferngully.
Yeah.
So I watched Ferngully the other day, and Hexus is the evil, like,
smoggy, globby oil.
And it's almost that. It's almost like that coming out of you, but then penetrating back in, like you're releasing it in these beautiful oils,
right? And you're like, I can't sit in this. I poisoned it.
Yes,
so negative energy.
So it's very that, but yeah, I do love self-love will happen when we learn how to leave the negativity at the door before we walk in it. Yes.
Oh, I love that, Quinn.
On that note, I will say this does play into self-love. When companies tell you to leave your baggage at the door, check them, please. I've taught a lot of courses and classes on mental health and wellness within the workplace, and telling people that they can't bring in their personal life into work is never going to work because you're always your own personal self. So like saying like what I have done is said, give each employee a scale from 10 to 100. 10 is like, or 0 to 100. 0 is like, I don't need anybody's assistance today. I am good. I am like self-sufficient. So 0% of you is what I need.
Wow.
all the way up to like, I'm a 90 today. I had a rough fucking night. I'm gonna need a little extra help, or I need you to back the fuck off of me. Like, this is where I am, and I've taught that quite a few places.
I love that. I've never heard that.
It just helps. I had a manager that used to do it after I taught it to the company, and she was regular. She had a lot of like allergy and like asthmatic health issues. And it would just put her in a mood. And I'd walk in and I'd say, Nakia, how's your percentage today? And she would say 75. I said, okay. So we're not quite like at a point where we can't have a meeting, but we're at a point where you're going to need some space today.
I love that.
So yeah, using stuff like that, and that's self-love.
To gauge where someone's
That is
at.
gauging yourself to let other people know where you are in the day.
Yeah, and to be honest about it without any fear of repercussion or shame in the workplace. Oh,
yeah,
that is wonderful.
I mean, reason I went into HR was to help people succeed and push themselves forward.
Yeah, that's. But some other ways of self-love might even be, we like to go in, right? We like to like being spiritually minded, being energetically minded and sensitive. We like to go in, reflective, and say, what are the ways I can heal or love myself that will find me in a place of peace and abundance.
Yep.
But not everyone's like that.
No, we're very self-sustaining people.
Yeah, some people might just need to do a fun activity that brings them joy. And that fills them with abundance and love, and they move from that space, which I also love.
Yeah.
But it's not what I think of first usually.
Yeah, and also know how to like make your home space your home space. Like, even if it's an apartment that you're only going to be in for a year, set crystals out, grow plants, I have my crowns sitting out so I can look at them every day and say, look at some of my accomplishments.
Hell
you
yeah.
know? I sew in my space, and so like I know that I need to keep it clean because I love a clean home. I tidy up, and it's not always like the cleanest, but at least I know I tidied, and like we ran the Roomba or something, which was my husband's present for Christmas.
Do you like it?
I actually like it. He always says, I vacuumed today. You did not vacuum today. You turned on the app. You pushed a button on your app and it did its own thing. But so when I say it like I cleaned today, he'll be like, well, I vacuumed.
You mean you press the Roomba go?
Yeah, because I can turn it on with 2 taps of my foot.
That's funny. I can hear Chip saying that and like hearing like the sarcasm in his voice.
Oh yeah.
Well, I vacuum.
So yeah, turning your home space. You've done a couple of those things. You're starting to grow plants. You're like making your room in your home a place that makes you want to come into it.
And to talk about that specifically too, right? There's no right way to find the way to fill your cup and to give yourself self-love.
Absolutely.
And also conversely, in the words of Jessie J, it's okay not to be okay.
100. I have to learn that more.
Yeah.
I am not somebody who cannot be okay because my entire life is dedicated to other people, but it cannot be.
Right.
You cannot do that. It's the plain scenario. You cannot apply somebody else's mask until you apply your own mask.
Exactly. And sometimes what the very thing you need to do to find that self-love and to give yourself that self-care is to move into that space of accepting where you are. And if it's you're not okay, you have to be able to see that and acknowledge it and move through that so you can find yourself into being okay. For me, when I'm not feeling okay, give me like an episode of Grey's Anatomy where I could just cry the whole time. And like, let me experience that catharsis. That is me shedding all this negative energy and stress that is bottling up inside me and getting it out so then I can feel lighter. And for me, that's a form of self-love.
Yeah.
Is to recognize that moment, recognize my need to have that moment. Also saying no.
Yeah, saying no is fine. I do this. Absolutely. I worry too much about always being put together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I sure do.
Yeah.
But it's a trait that I grew up knowing. And so it's ingrained in me. It's something that, yes, I can work on, but it will always be there.
Yeah. So what would we say about this, sort of like, to cap it off? Show yourself self-love.
Definitely.
Take a bath, put out crystals, do something fun.
Have a cocktail and just like relax.
Give yourself permission to just be.
Yeah. Ooh, that's the ending right there. Give yourself permission to just be. And with that,
think,
We love you all the muches.
thank
Bye,
you so much,
y'all.
Munchkins.
See you next week.
See you next week.